Good evening, Midwest Survivor. Time for dinner chat. Things are running a little late tonight, but I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that is checking out the YouTube channel, checking out the Facebook shorts, checking out the TikTok videos, the Instagram reels, the Pinterest posts, the Lemonade posts, everything. Thank you so much for that. Be sure to click the thumbs up, click the bell, click subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. So tonight's dinner chat is rebuilding your life. And rebuilding your life after losing friends and your support system. Now, losing friends and family connections and your support system can always feel like losing part of your identity. You know, whether it happened because of divorce, trauma, abuse, addiction, recovery, church hurt, life changes, rebuilding after that loss is a journey of grief, of healing, and rediscovery. And sometimes people just move away, and sometimes time just causes things to get separated. So some things that I want to talk about tonight is grieving the people who are still alive. You know, sometimes the hardest losses of people that you go through are the people that are still living, still breathing, but are no longer part of your life. I can honestly say that there have been times that I've lost friends for one reason or another, and it has always been a very difficult thing. Some of it was time, some of it was differences, some of it was just conflict, and that is a hard loss to overcome. You know, I can't tell you how many times that there were friends that I wanted to call and talk to stuff about, but because of differences and because of emotional disconnects, you know, that relationship was no longer there and no longer in a place where I could. So it's okay to grieve friendships, communities, and relationships that ended. It's a normal, healthy process of life. You know, it's okay to grieve. It's okay to miss those people. Number two is accepting that some people were just part of your life for a short season. You know, not everybody is meant to walk with you forever. I've lost friends that were with me for a short time, and I have lost friends that were with me, that have been with me for a long time. And I can tell you honestly and sincerely that the amount of grief that I felt for both of those friends that I lost was honestly the same. I felt a profound sense of loss. I felt a profound sense of emptiness in my life from the loss that losing those friends had. But that being said, not everybody is meant to be part of your life forever. Some people are meant to be there for a short time, offer support during that time, and then they are gradually moved on out of your life. Or sometimes you are brought into someone else's life to help them out, and you are supposed to move out of their life. You know, growth often changes who can travel with you. Not everybody's meant to walk with you forever. A key important thing to understand is understand why support systems collapse. Sometimes you go through major life changes, health issues, job changes, financial difficulties, marital issues, church issues, whatever the case may be. Loss of community after divorce, addiction recovery, church departure, and personal growth are very, very common. You know, some people view things through the lens of, well, they've gone through addiction, they can't be trusted, so I need to cut myself off. You know, the ending of a marriage, those kind of things, personal and differences of opinions, personal conflicts, job changes. You know, all those things can be something that causes support systems to fail. So healing is the next process that we need to talk about. And learning to be alone without feeling abandoned. Now, this is a hard one. Some people can't handle just being alone. Now, me, I'm a type of person that I can handle being around people, but I'm also comfortable being by myself. Solitude and loneliness are not the same thing. Sometimes it takes solitude, places of quietness and peace and tranquility, to find healing, and more importantly, to find yourself again. Now, loneliness, that's different than solitude. Loneliness is a genuinely real feeling that comes upon people whenever there's not anybody around. Being lonely is a very, very real thing that has to be worked through and overcome. So, rebuilding your identity. You have to ask yourself several questions. Who am I without these people? Who was I before with these people? Who was I whenever I had these people? And now who am I without these people? Those are three important questions. Who I was when, and who I am now. Rediscover interest. Sometimes some friendships cause values and interest and dreams to get neglected or forgotten about because, maybe the other person just doesn't see things through the same lens that you do. And that's okay. Having different mindsets, different opinions, different perceptions of life is very important, because if we were all the same, the world would be a very boring place. So, rediscover who you are, what interests you, what do you value, what are your dreams, what are your hopes, what are some short-term, long-term plans that may have been dropped in the interim between having the relationship and the support system, and then not having the support system. Letting go of anger and resentment. This is a very hard one, and only time can heal this wound. Sometimes we get bitter and we get angry tied to our past and tied to the feeling of rejection and hurt that can happen whenever our support systems leave us. Carrying bitterness will keep you tied to that past, and more importantly, tied to that person that may have left you. Moving forward doesn't require forgetting what happened. It just requires a forward motion. So, number 7, start a new support system. Start small. One conversation, one cup of coffee, one sandwich at a restaurant, one connection at a time. It may seem small and insignificant, but sometimes friendships can be forged over coffee and a sandwich, or sometimes just a casual conversation can forge a relationship. Just start at one connection and conversation at a time. Healthy relationships are built through consistency, not desperation. The most important thing to realize in building a relationship is that you don't need to be friends with anybody and everybody, because sometimes people don't necessarily have the most purest of motives when it comes to being your friend. So build a relationship gradually and slowly rather than out of desperation. Recognize your strengths. If you've suffered a loss of a support system and you've already proven you're stronger than you thought, recognize that. Recognize that you have something of value to offer people, and that those people that turn their back on you weren't worth your time to begin with. So here's some things to think about and reflect on. Who did I become in order to keep certain relationships? What kind of people do I want in my life moving forward? And what have I learned about myself through this loss? And what does a healthy support system actually look like? Listen, I've lost my support system. I'm doing this on my own with the support of an amazing woman that I love and I'm crazy about. and it's me and her in the world and nobody else. So I can honestly say I know what it's like to feel alone. Losing your support system doesn't mean that you've lost your future. Sometimes rebuilding your life requires leaving behind the people who knew the version of you that was just surviving, just getting by, so that you can become the person who can live their life to the fullest, to the most amazing. So Midwest Survivor for Dinner Chat, I hope you have a great evening. Enjoy your dinner. As always, I want you to stay healthy, be healthy, get healthy, stay strong, get strong, be strong. I'll see you tomorrow morning for Breakfast Bits. Have a good evening.